I've seen some people kind of comparing Running Point to Ted Lasso. I think that's kind of an unfair juxtaposition. How have you been pitching this show to the people in your life who maybe don't know anything about it?
I think like there's a lot of family dynamic comedy in this show that I definitely like have pitched to my family to tune in and be like, hey, it's kind of like how we act sometimes towards each other. And I think there's a lot of relatability there to just sort of like siblings and the birth order and how that affects, the comedy within, how they interact with each other.
I think this is a workplace comedy set inside a family. So admittedly, I've not seen the other show you referenced, so I can't speak to how it does or doesn't compare. But I know that for me, this is kind of the show that when I'm scrolling through Netflix, I would completely stop on because it genuinely has something for everybody in your household. I mean, you have sports, you have family, you have romance, and that's really a testament to Mindy being able to kind of corral that entire world into one show. Hopefully it's a blast to watch because it was a lot of fun to make.
And speaking of the family dynamics, Drew, Scott, you guys are kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, a-holes to Isla to start the season. You do learn, but I'm wondering for all three of you, has this show made you reevaluate any of your own relationships with the women in your life, your sisters? Drew, I know you have sisters, or maybe just friends or other family members.
Yes, I recently tried to get my wife removed from the board of our household.
You went the other way.
See, I went the other way. I realized that I have no control at all whatsoever.
You realize that? Yeah. I've known that for a very long time.
I think I was just grasping at it for a very long time.
Yeah. I will say, if you set the characters aside, I did go home early on, and both Mindy and Kate had a tremendous amount going on in life outside of this show. And I remember thinking, it was like maybe the end of the first week, I was like, this is wildly impressive because both were ever present and joyful and fun to be around. And, I know, that takes a lot, and I'm not ignorant. I do think there is a difference. I think we do handle people differently, and we handle the sexes differently, and it was wildly impressive, but not surprising, truthfully, because they're pretty dynamic.
Yeah, I think I can sometimes, I'm the oldest, so I can fall into that like telling everybody what to do thing and trying to control. And I think I've tried to get better at that. But also like all of my younger siblings are like way smarter than me. So like I kind of, a lot of times it's me being like, okay, the youngest is right. That's it. That's the way we should go.
When I saw Drew's sister, I was like, how's it going? She goes, good. Other than the fact that like, Drew keeps calling me Isla, which is weird. So, well, he's kind of doing a Daniel Day-Lewis thing.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Yeah.
Is there any hope for season 2? Would you guys want to come back and do it? And what would you hope to see your character go through in a second season?
I think we all hope there's a season 2 for sure. I mean,
definitely.
We'd be excited to see it to work together again.
Yeah.
Does anyone ever say no to that question?
Yeah.
No, I think this world is built to run. Running Point. No, I do. I think it's big. It's expansive for that reason. I think there's a lot of storylines and emotional arcs that we get to follow in season 1. And I think if there were more stories to tell, it's just keep exploring these relationships, because each time the characters are in different combinations, there's new colors and new light. And I think that would be just a lot of fun, because there's a lot there.
And it reflects the world, the real world of a sports franchise and of an NBA franchise. Like, it's ever changing, right? Like, there's, as we know, like last week with the Lakers, like there's a lot of news that happened last week. And like, it's constantly ever changing, and the dynamics are constantly changing, and how these characters react to those dynamics and each other as they're growing and stumbling their way through this is such a fun thing to explore. So to Scott's point, I think it could go as long as Netflix is willing to write the check.